Welcome to the Connected Leaders Academy virtual conference designed to reshape your vision of transformation. As we navigate the evolving business landscape, our speakers will unveil innovative strategies to manage and initiate change. Prepare to adapt, innovate, and lead, ensuring your role as a catalyst in this transformative era.
Hey, we all want to be the best version of ourselves. We all want to show up for others as our best. But how can we do that? I think the lyrics to the Bobby McFerrin song tell it the best. Don't worry, be happy. My name is Don Callahan, and I want to help you, well, be happy. But what is happiness? The Merriam-Webster Dictionary describes happiness as a state of well-being and contentment. I was raised in a low to middle income family. I have an older brother. Both of my parents have been married forever. My upbringing was what I would describe as normal. And from an early age, I was raised to find happiness. Go to school, get a good education, get a good job, and you'll be happy. So I went to school, university and college. I was the first person in my family lineage to complete high school. I worked hard, I saved money, and I put myself through university and college. I obtained a bachelor's degree in English and a college diploma in advertising and marketing. I was ready to take on the world. I was almost there. Go to school, check. Get a good education, check. Now to get a good job. Happiness is just around the corner. Ideally, I wanted to work in a creative field. I enjoyed writing, I enjoyed drawing, I was creative. But it seemed that artists were always starving, and the only time they made money was long after they had died. So art was out for a career path. But hey, I enjoyed teaching. I love to help others learn new skills. As a summer job, I was a motorcycle instructor. It was a fun time. And I was also a karate instructor. I'd started my own karate club and taught through the local recreation programs. That was fun too, but only part-time. I needed a full-time gig. Then I could make lots of money. Then I'd be happy. Maybe I could become a teacher. That would satisfy my desire to help others, and I'd have the summers off. Definitely a job that would make me happy. But I would need more education. And apparently the job field for teachers was saturated. Too many teachers, not enough jobs. No teaching job for me. But happiness was so close. It had to be. I just needed that perfect job. But what was it? So I became a manager in retail sales. I had to work long hours. I had to fire people. I had to hire people. I had to train people. I had to schedule people. I had to deal with upset customers. I had sales targets that I had to reach. And I made no money. Happiness was not here. I guess I needed to take making money seriously. Commission sales and life insurance, the opportunity to make a lot of money, that was there. But so were the long hours, the cold calling, the canceled appointments, plain old rejection, door slams, name calling. I did not find happiness here either. And I got thinking, maybe I needed a corporate job, a suit and tie job, go where the money is. So I became a banker. Great hours, but horrible pay. And very limited opportunities for growth and advancement. Happiness was not to be found here. But during this journey, I managed to find the love of my life. And together we have two wonderful children. But now the pressure was on. Can I find happiness and support a growing family? What if I can't have both? Maybe I need to sacrifice one for the other. For me, life was becoming a roller coaster of emotional ups and downs. As a child, I had always wanted to be a police officer. I have a strong sense of right and wrong, a strong desire to help others, and a strong belief in respecting authority. But this was not to be. At 5'2", I was too short to meet the hiring requirements. And then after the height requirements were eventually removed, I didn't meet the vision requirements. Wearing contacts instead of glasses didn't matter. So this dream of happiness died. I guess that I have to sacrifice happiness, my happiness, for the greater good of my new family. But I was able to volunteer with the local police service, so that would have to do. And it did for a few years. But by luck, happenstance, or divine intervention, I learned that the local police service was preparing an in-house training program. They wanted to train able-bodied candidates as officers to be on a short list for when hiring opportunities occurred. It was the first of its kind. Typically, new recruits were sent away to a police academy for standardized training, but this was local. It was meant to be. And out of 500 plus applicants, I had made it to the final group, but I still didn't meet the vision requirements. I had a tough decision to make. The training course was 10 months long. It was unpaid training. It would cost me $10,000 for the training. I would require laser eye surgery, and this was a new type of surgery, and that would cost me $4,000. So just to recap, 10 months of unpaid full-time training, $10,000 worth of tuition, $4,000 for eye surgery. I have a wife, 2 small children. I have a car payment. I have a mortgage. And oh yeah, at the end of the training course, there was no guarantee of employment. Talk about a roller coaster of emotion. This was not happiness. This was stress. But I was certain of a few things. My wife supported me 100%. And if I didn't at least try, I'd be left second guessing my happiness for the rest of my life. So I jumped in and I loved every minute of training. The roller coaster was climbing high. And then 10 months later, down it came. The program ended, no one was hired. The police academy was suing the training program in a class action suit. I still had a mortgage and a car payment. And thankfully, I still had a wife and 2 kids. But that happiness piece was still being elusive. What this did tell me was that I was on the right path. I found a way to help people. I found a way to be creative. Now I needed to pull all the pieces together. I started applying to other police services, eventually securing a police job halfway across the country. Now I moved across the country for my job. My wife and children, they moved across the country for me. Stress was high, happiness level was to be determined. Now, after completing a 26-year career in policing, I think I've found my happiness, my own state of well-being and contentment. The lessons I've learned looking back, I think I've always been happy. I just didn't know what it looked like. Have you ever ridden a motorcycle? The joy of motorcycling is in the ride, the twisting roadways, the motion through the turns, the sights and sounds, even the smells as you drive. Have you ever sailed? Happiness is not found in owning the boat. Happiness is found in the exhilaration of the journey, experiencing new locations, meeting people along the way. I believe the saying is true. We pursue happiness. I've never heard anyone say they caught happiness or they own happiness. I believe true happiness occurs when we pursue other things. And after 26 years of a policing career dealing with disturbing, unhealthy events, surrounded by negativity, hatred, sorrow, and death, I've had to look for the happiness along the way. And this was a process. It didn't happen overnight. And I want to share it with you. My life lessons for happiness and joy can be found by focusing on a few key areas: gratitude, mindfulness, and intentionality. I want to share with you some basic practical steps to help you find your happiness and joy each and every day. Let's start with 5 practical ways to foster gratitude in everyday life. Keep a gratitude journal. Spend a few minutes each day writing down a couple things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as a good cup of coffee or a meaningful conversation. And as a writer, it should be easy for me to write or journal each day, but it's not. And your gratitude journal doesn't need to be public, doesn't need to be shared. But for me, I like to post a short attitude of gratitude message on social media each day for a month. And I do this a few times a year. Posting keeps me accountable. Practice mindful appreciation. Pause throughout your day to notice and appreciate small joys, the sunlight on your face, a kind gesture, or the comfort of your home. I think we take so much for granted. And it wasn't until I was faced daily with unsettling incidents during my workday that led me to appreciate the small gestures, the things and acknowledgments. Often we use the term first world problems to keep ourselves in check with what truly matters. Having volunteered many times in third world countries, it has opened my eyes to appreciate the things I have here, including the first world problems. Express gratitude to others. Make it a habit to verbally thank people, family, friends, coworkers, or even strangers for their help or kindness. A quick thank you can brighten both your day and theirs. During the Christmas season, I enjoy going to local coffee shops. I live in a university town with lots of international students. I'll go to the coffee shops and purchase gift cards. Then I hand the gift cards over to the servers and the staff, and I ask that they get used to pay for someone's coffee or meal. Many of the students are miles from home, and I believe that paying it forward brings a smile to their face, and it warms my heart. It's a win-win. When the pandemic hit, the world was filled with uncertainty. People had to adapt and overcome new obstacles. Although I still had to attend work in the outside world, my wife shifted to working remotely. This had its own set of struggles. Every once in a while, I would sneak a post-it note on her monitor, just a quick note stating, "Smile, you're amazing," or "You got this." Shift your perspective during challenges. When facing difficulties, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or is there anything positive in this situation? This helps build resilience and gratitude, even in tough times. There's a lot happening with this shift in mindset. Usually when something difficult or traumatic occurs, our natural defense mechanism is triggered by fear. And when fear appears, usually logic leaves. Instead of asking, why me? Change the perspective to, I'm glad this is happening to me. I know it's tough, but I'm tougher. When we overcome obstacles, we grow. Every obstacle is an opportunity to become stronger. Create gratitude reminders. Set small cues in your environment, a note on the mirror, a daily phone reminder, maybe a gratitude jar, something to prompt you to reflect on what's going well in your life. There's a best-selling author and motivational speaker, Mel Robbins. She wrote a book titled The High Five Habit. She describes the importance of notes on the mirror and the importance of the high five, especially to yourself. If you haven't read it, you should. It's an amazing understanding of what motivates ourselves on a subconscious level. Now, here are 5 practical ways I use to foster mindfulness. 1, start your day with intention. Before reaching for your phone, take a minute when you wake up to breathe deeply and set an intention for the day. Ask yourself, how do I want to show up today? It seems like everyone is tied to their phones, checking emails and putting out the proverbial fires. It seems we need to hit the floor running. All too often, this will lead to a crisis management type of day, where the events of the day lead you instead of you leading the events. As tough as it was at first, I've gained amazing balance in my day by becoming a member of the 5 a.m. club. This is a club that's easy to join, but it's hard to stay as a member. Every morning I wake up at 5 a.m. As I lay in my bed, I would consciously take a few deep, slow breaths. I would consciously listen. What do I hear? Silence, stillness. I could feel my heart beating. I would take this moment before my feet touch the floor to be grateful. Grateful to be alive, to be breathing, grateful for the roof over my head. And I would tell myself this was going to be a great day. Then and only then would I get out of bed. This became such a ritual, a habit, that I would wake up minutes before my alarm would go off. And when I went to bed at night, I would be aware, almost excited for the next morning, because I knew it would dictate and direct my day. So now I'm up at 5 a.m. Now what? Still no phone. I dedicated the next 45 to 60 minutes to just me. How often during the day do you dedicate time to just you? For me, it was nearly never. My routine became conditioned. I would go to a quiet spot in the house where I had no distractions. I'd spend between 5 to 10 minutes meditating. I know that may seem foreign to many people, but I would sit comfortably in a softly lit room, slowly breathing in and out, and then I'd repeat in my head positive affirmations. Nothing awe-inspiring, nothing world-changing, just a short sentence repeated over and over in my head. Affirmations like, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am important. After a few moments, this mantra would echo in my head and sync with my breathing. Then I would spend at least 10 minutes reading. And I'm old school. I need a physical book, something I can touch, feel, smell. It would be a book on personal development. This is my time to make myself the best I can be for the day. I'm going to fill my mind with positive growth-based messages. And why not? I am healthy, I'm wealthy, and I am important. Let's grow. I've had some serious health concerns over the years. I suffer from chronic back pain related to a misadventure with a stack of car tires. I have mobility issues, flexibility issues, rotator cuff tears. It goes on, but I refuse to let that get to me. I spend the next 15 to 20 minutes on strengthening, stretching, and repairing this old war machine. I know I will improve. It's only a matter of time. And there's a saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So I'm taking one bite at a time. Then I spend the next 10 days on my spiritual growth. 10 minutes on my spiritual growth, typically reading and reflecting on the lessons I need to learn. Now I'm ready. I've dedicated my morning to me. I'm in the best state I need to be in to tackle the world. Practice deep breathing. Incorporate short breathing exercises throughout your day. Try the 4-7-8 technique where you inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This grounds you in the present moment. Breathing is literally life. You can't live long without it. And when women are giving birth, breathing intentionally is so important. To maintain mindfulness or to help gain control throughout the day, it's important to take a quick minute and conscientiously breathe. Everybody has stress. No one is free. And stress typically creeps up on us throughout the day, and stress will steal your control. Take a break a couple of times throughout the day. Maybe while you're in the lineup for coffee. We all have a moment. Most people carry stress in the shoulders. While you have a moment, conscientiously force your shoulders down. Force them to relax. You'll be amazed that you become so tight throughout the day. Now, with your shoulders relaxed, take a deep breath in, hold it, and slowly, intentionally let it out. Relax your face muscles. Who knew we had a resting stress face? 3 or 4 cycles of intentional breathing will help to center yourself before you go back into that meeting. And mindful eating. Slow down during meals. Savor each bite. Notice the flavors and textures and put away distractions like your phone. This simple act increases presence and enjoyment. Whenever I sit down to a meal, whether I prepare it myself or is prepared for me, I always take a moment to appreciate what is before me. Yes, I make sure to acknowledge with gratitude that I have food to eat, and I try to not take that for granted. But I take a moment to see it, to see how it's presented on the plate, to observe the beautiful colors, the textures, all of it. Is it hot? Is that steam I see? I noticed the sheen from the oil it was cooked in. What a magnificent arrangement. Have you ever attended a wine tasting? Truly listen to the wine sommelier as they describe the subtle nuances of the wine before you. The different notes that can be experienced on the palate, the smell of the wine, the color variances. Talk about being in the moment and totally focused on one task. Try putting your fork down after every bite. That's tough, but it forces me to savor each and every bite. I even sip water between bites to clean my palate so I can experience each flavor again with the next forkful. Take mindful pauses. Set small pause moments throughout your day, before a meeting, after task, while you're making a tea, whatever. Take a few seconds to check in with your body. your breath, and your surroundings. I call these the talk to the hand moments. If you don't consciously take a moment to check in with ourselves and place on hold all that is going on around us, we will be letting the day rule ourselves. It doesn't have to be long, just a pause. Listen to your breathing, lower your shoulders, repeat an affirmation or two. My favorite mindful pause can be found on social media. If you don't follow Andrew Bird, you should. Check out his handle, Dreadful Bird, for a quick 30-second check. You're welcome. Limit multitasking. Focus on one task at a time. Whether you're answering emails or folding laundry, give it your full attention. Multitasking often leads to stress, while single tasking focuses and fosters clarity and calmness. I watched a good friend of mine cook a meal. Now, she's an accomplished chef, so I was looking forward to dinner. But she was in a state of chaos while she cooked. Her timing was messed up, so she started to rush. She was prepping while other parts were cooking. Cookware and utensils were everywhere. Heaven forbid I try to step in to help. It was a small tornado in the kitchen. It was a good meal, but it had potential to be a great meal. And what I really noticed was that my friend knew that, and her focus was no longer on the meal in front of her, but on explaining how it should have been, how it could have been if she had more time. I would have preferred to have waited an extra 15 minutes to have her vision presented to us. Now, here's a few practical ways to foster individuality in living in everyday life. Clarify your values. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you: family, health, creativity, growth, or simplicity. Let your daily decisions align with those core values. When I was looking for happiness, I thought it could be found with money. When I have this much, I'll be happy. It wasn't until I realized that for me, it was about family. I wanted to provide for my family, but I also wanted to be there as my family grew. To me, family was the most important value in my life. I realized that I grew up in a family that valued each other. It wasn't about having money. It wasn't about learning. It was about growing together. That's what I truly wanted, and I didn't want to sacrifice that. Now I'm content with my family. I need to focus on my health. But what I truly believe, it's not one or the other. It's about balance. I'm trying to balance all of these areas in my life: family, health, financial, spiritual, etc. These are the values that matter most. Prioritize what matters. Start each day. Identify 1 to 3 key priorities that align with your goals and values. Focus your energy on what moves you closer to the life you want, rather than getting lost in all the busyness. Practice saying no. Learn to set boundaries. Saying no to commitments or habits that drain you allows you to say yes to what truly adds value to your life. Sometimes it's tough to say no. If you've been raised to put others first, to become a people pleaser, the customer is always right, it's tough to say no. Honestly, people have asked you for your help, guidance, whatever, because they value you and know you can help them. It would be rude to say no, but sometimes people will take advantage of your goodwill. Maybe it's easier for them to ask you than it is to figure it out themselves. Saying no can be empowering. It may take a couple of kicks at the can to become comfortable saying no, and it doesn't need to be saying no to everything. Create time and space for reflection. It's important to see where your intention has been going. Are you on track? Too much in one direction, not enough in the other? I hope that you will find happiness in your life. I believe it's the journey and not the destination. Here are 2 wonderful quotes to think about. For every minute you are angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. It's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And Eleanor Roosevelt stated, "Happiness is not a goal, it is a byproduct." I hope this helps. From my heart to yours, I thank you.
Thank you for participating in today's enlightening session. As we transition to our next expert, remember that each strategy and insight is a step toward becoming a transformative leader in your field. Visit connectedleadersacademy.com to stay engaged and informed. The journey of change is ongoing. Let's move forward together.